We are now joined by the San Jose Spartans, led by head coach Brad Sanfilippo in his eighth season. Coach Sanfilippo is joined by senior outfielder Jariah Lewis and junior left-hand pitcher Jesse Gutierrez. The Spartans went 24-33 and finished third in the Mountain West Conference a year ago. Coach Sanfilippo, if you want to start us off with an opening statement about your team in the fall leading up to 2025.
Hey, appreciate everyone, and good to see everybody. Excited to get closer to getting this thing going here in a week, and always good to see the coaches from the Bay Area and all the guys that give us coverage. So we appreciate this. Excited to get after it with a lot of new guys here at San Jose State. The two guys sitting next to me are obviously experienced guys that we're going to be leaning upon. We're coming off three straight Mountain West Championship appearances. And last year we were 7 outs away from going to back-to-back regionals. So, obviously those were sleepless nights thinking about those 7 outs, but obviously a good Fresno State team that ended up moving on. So I feel pretty good about the success our program's had in the recent history. And again, kind of on the backs of guys like I have right here. Obviously, we have 26 new guys. So the guys sitting next to me, really important in terms of their leadership and kind of being able to help the guys that are new to our program in terms of our culture and the standard of the way that we do things and the how we expect to compete when we kick off here in a week in Lafayette, Louisiana. But there's a lot of unknowns with us in terms of probably you look at our roster and you look at that who's going to play, and there's probably just not a lot of maybe experience that you would point to, or a lot of numbers and things that you would point to in terms of predicting how maybe we're going to be. But I'm really excited about this group. I'm excited about these guys and their time here and what they've done. Jesse Gutierrez here was one of the best pitchers in the Mountain West, especially as a relief pitcher. He was the guy that we handed the ball to on Friday night or Saturday with a lead who could get us home. I mean, he had really good numbers, a 3.47 ERA in 21 appearances, and was lights out in the tournament in two different appearances. Really giving us an opportunity to win the championship last year. And so, Jariah Lewis here to my right. Has been, an unbelievable, dynamic, athlete who has played behind some good players and has contributed. He started in the Mountain West Championship last year in the tournament. Somebody that we rely on and we believe in, and who again I think will be a cornerstone of this year's team going forward. I think we had a good competitive fall. We played well against San Francisco. We played well against Stanford. I thought we were very competitive, but again, I think there's a lot of question marks in terms of when it becomes real. What does the lineup look like in our rotation, and as we have a decent idea of what those things look like now. As we go into the season, I think that our coaching staff and myself, we feel like we're excited that there's a lot of different options and a lot of different pieces as we move forward. And I think it'll take probably a non-conference schedule to figure those things out. So, if you look at the guys coming back, obviously Jesse is our most accomplished pitcher coming back. But also we have Nolan George, who pitched on Fridays and closed some last year when we had some injuries and some things. And so, great leader in the clubhouse, just a phenomenal guy. So we look for Nolan to have a big role, coming through a little, being banged up in the fall a little bit. So probably a little slower getting going than he would like. But we feel like Nolan will be a big piece. Joey Camerata, a big piece in our bullpen, an experienced guy, a leader in the clubhouse. And guys that, are choosing to come back here and spend an extra year. And so, again, I think that's been the cornerstone of our program, that we've had guys that have been here for a long period of time that have kept coming back and had a commitment to this program to continue to push it forward. And again, that's a little new for us this year with 26 new guys. I do believe we have some talented freshmen in Brady Pavlovsky and Wade Mounts and Ishan Campbell that are talented elite freshmen that probably could have gone anywhere. But Apologize. Things popping up on the screen. Um, but also, we had some additions that I felt like we needed to go out and get in terms of, to make us competitive and relevant. We did utilize the portal and some guys looking for, an opportunity or looking for a fresh start. So, I think Tyler Albanese is a sophomore right-handed pitcher, has really good stuff and had a good fall. We expect. And then some transfers. EJ McGrew, left-handed pitcher from the Bay Area that we think is going to be a quality left-handed arm for us. David Thomas, also a Bay Area kid, transferred from St. Mary's that we think is going to pitch on a weekend. And then Wynn Scott, transfer from North Carolina State, left-handed pitcher that we think that has the ability to pitch on a weekend as well. We've got Timmy Reeve, a transfer from Delta Junior College, who was out last year, who's coming back that we expect to have an impact on us. And JC transfer Kyle Calzadiaz as well. From the position player side of things, we really, if you look at last year's lineup and you look at this year's lineup, other than Jariah, Jared Lewis made some starts for us last year and had some production for us. But other than that, it's going to be a lot of new faces. We went out and we were really conscious in making sure that, with all the veteran hitters that we had, that we tried to add some experience. We got Zach Chamizo from UC Riverside, who put up good numbers in the Big West, left-handed hitter, who really can play in a lot of different positions. So we're excited about Zach. We got Zach Tollerman from UC Riverside as well. Again, an older player, an experienced player who I think that we trying to figure out where our production is going to come from. Again, I think our culture has been really important. Guys with good work ethic that are just hungry for an opportunity, and those guys kind of fit that bill. Rocco Caballero from Golden West Junior College is going to play probably shortstop, start the year there, but can play a lot of different infield positions. JC Agard is a kid from Chabot Junior College who's a 4-year kickback that we think has big upside. Antonio Nanez from San Francisco State. We've got Drew Giannini, who started at San Diego State, who's a Delta College a player that we think. Raul Fabian was a Long Beach State guy who went to Chabot Junior College, who will add here. Jack Vanacini was at Fullerton. And then some other guys that we had, we've got a Jake Maroney who's been in our program now for a few years that we think might be able to step in and help us. But yeah, as we look at this thing, it's a lot of JC guys and some portal guys that we think are the right kind of guys for us. We're excited about how competitive we were in the fall. And we're just looking to get after a pretty good schedule. We'll open up at Louisiana Lafayette in a really good environment against a team that's been in the regionals the last few years, and I think that'll be good for this club to get into an environment like that and compete. We'll come home to host Utah Valley, then San Francisco. We'll play 2 here and 1 up in the city against Rob's club, and then we'll host Utah here in our final non-conference week before we go to San Diego to take on the Aztecs in our first weekend of Mountain West play. But, I know people probably don't think a whole lot of us right now, which is fine. 26 new guys, I can understand that. But, again, I'm really excited about the makeup of this club. These 2 guys sitting next to me, I think they'll have a huge impact on our success.
Thank you, Coach. We'll have a question from Eric Sorensen. Again, if any media members have a question, please use the raise hand function in the React panel at the bottom of Zoom.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you again, my man.
Seeing you.
Yeah. By the way, I think that opening weekend at Louisiana Lafayette, I've been to games there before. That's sneaky tough opening weekend for just about any team, much less a team that brings in a lot of new players. Now, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but one of the things I was going to ask you is, like, over the last 2 years, you and I have talked a number of times about how many players came back that could have gone other places, or could have gone to even like some gone pro or something. But the 2 players you have there with you, and including Nolan George, also, how important or how good was it to get those 3 in particular, those guys back to be sort of leaders for this team this year?
I think it's really important. I mean, despite having 26 new guys, to have guys that really have had an impact on our program, both on and off the field, on the field, in the classroom, in the locker room, in the weight room. At least they understand and can show our new guys of just, what it is that's important, here. And so to have these guys back, to have a Joey Camerata back, to have, to have Nolan George back, to have, Jake Maroney and some guys back, I think it's unbelievably important because the Theo Hardys and Charles McAdoo's and Robert Hamchucks and Dalton Bowlings and Hunter DeRose and the guys that have been so impactful for our lineup in the last few years, those guys have passed, hopefully they've left not only success in their past, but they've left a way that we do things. And these guys were young guys at one point in time that looked up to guys. And again, I think in order to build a successful program in today's college baseball, it's inevitable. I think that you're gonna be in the portal and you're gonna try to get some impact guys and guys. What is important is the guys that you have in your locker room, so that they can impact the guys that are coming in, and that you do a good job making sure that the guys that you're bringing in are the right kind of guys.
All right, to follow that up, this will be for both Jariah and Jesse. For you guys, some of the names that Coach just rattled off, like McAdoo and Hamchuk and Hardy and all these guys that have been great the last two seasons. For each of you, what have the players that have been there before, what have they meant to you and your development and your confidence in playing D1 baseball?
I'll say they kind of showed us what the Spartans are, and I think they showed us what we need to do for our team this year, and they paved the way for us to show to the transfers. So that's what I think.
Yeah, same thing as Jesse. And I think for this year, we've been doing a good job at, continuing that culture and continuing the standards for the new guys. And obviously it was hard at first with these, transfers and incoming freshmen, but this fall we've done a really good job at just, working every day and building that same culture.
All right, thanks, guys.
Our next question will come from College Baseball Weekly.
How are you, Coach?
I'm great. Thank you.
Yeah, on the road at Louisiana, what people don't realize about a team like that, Coach, is that is in a conference that usually gets 4, sometimes 5 teams into the tournament. You obviously have teams like Texas State that are in that conference, Sun Belt. Very good baseball conference. I mean, I believe there was some years that they got more teams in than, the Big Ten. That's a good atmosphere to open up in. I've actually been there. It's right there along I-10 in Louisiana on the way to Baton Rouge. You're opening up on the road when a lot of teams would come to California in the first week. Talk about that just being on the road week one rather than opening week one. I'm used to seeing a lot of the teams Midwest and other places come out there, or go down south. But you decided to go down south, so yeah.
Yeah, I thought this would be a really good opportunity, having a lot of new guys, a lot of JC guys, some freshmen, and obviously, some transfers, to go to a place in which they really care about baseball. I've had a relationship with Coach Thibodeau. My first year we went down and played at Nichols, and Coach and I have a good relationship, and we talk and text quite often. And we'd been talking about an opportunity to get down there and play again. So I thought this was a great opportunity for us to get into an environment in which, obviously not easy, obviously a lot of people, and I think that's the environment that this group needs. If the goal is to play highest games, or to play games at the highest level when it matters, if the team that comes out of the Mountain West Conference in the last however many years comes out of the tournament, right, you're going to have to play pressurized games in a tournament with everything on the line. You're going to have to go to a regional if that's your goal, and you're going to have to play in a hostile environment. And so if those are your goals and you have a bunch of guys that don't exactly maybe know what that looks like, what better way to start your year than to go into a place where they really care about baseball and they're really good and they've been really good, and you better turn it on and be ready to compete, you better be ready to compete from pitch one. So we're excited about the opportunity. I have nothing but respect for their program, and I know that it is not an easy trip in trip one. So that's kind of the goal, and hopefully it'll be a good learning experience, and we just can compete.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for Jariah, this is your red shirt senior year, I believe. Is there anything you worked on particular this off season?
I worked a lot on my game, obviously, mostly on the offensive side, just making adjustments at the plate and honestly just playing more free and having fun. And I've been encouraged a lot to do that by the coaching staff here and my teammates as well. So that's basically what I've been working on.
And for Jesse, did you play summer ball this year? And if you did, how did that go?
I played a couple of weeks of summer ball. I started a few games over in at the Prune Packers, and they went well, like 3 or 4 innings each start, but nothing much. And then I shut down for the rest of the summer. But yeah.
All right, excellent stuff, Coach. Guys, enjoy that trip opening weekend next weekend. Good luck all season, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach Sanfilippo, as you look back at the fall, who's kind of impressed you the most? Is there anybody that has really stepped up their game and you're looking that could really have a breakout season for your club?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question. I think that for this team, we've added a lot of pitching depth. I think that, we graduated so many guys. We had a really busy summer, and I think it was doing our best to add as much depth on the mound as possible. Kind of hopefully building this club around, being able to pitch and play defense. Again, the Mountain West Conference is not always built that way, but again, at the end of the day, you got to pitch and play defense. So, hey, I've really been impressed, by David Thomas. Been impressed with Timmy Reeve coming back. Zach Chamizo was the guy that we felt like we needed a veteran presence in our lineup, kind of a guy that could just roll out of bed and hit. I've been impressed with just his professionalism as a hitter, kind of what we wanted to add. And then, Rocco Caballero has played really well in the middle part of the diamond. Antonio Nanez has played really, really well in the fall and so far in January, coming from a Division II school. And again, these names probably unproven and some of those things, but in terms of their work ethic and their gratitude for an opportunity, I think we're right where we want to be in terms of that. But again, there's some JC guys. JC Agard has really impressed in his versatility and athleticism, and a Jake McCoy, and I'm leaving guys out, but it's fun for a coaching staff to have a new set of guys that we're coaching and trying to learn every day. We're trying to learn every day from each other. So I think there've been a lot of people that have impressed, and EJ McGrew and Wynn Scott and a lot of guys that have been really impressive. But again, I know that it's going to be different. I mean, I think there's going to be some time, an acclimation period probably to this level. And again, like we're talking about, hopefully week one, we're going to figure out what this is about real quick.
Thank you. We'll head back to Eric Sorensen for likely our final question with San Jose State.
Okay, thanks, Tyler. Brad, one thing I did want to ask about, and I know coaches kind of don't like, a lot of them don't like the word rebuilding, but this with 26 new players, it's kind of a little bit of a rebuild. And I know you're not afraid to do that. You've proven the last few years that you could do that. But what is it going to take? What will be the key to rebuilding your team, getting back to 30 wins a year? And especially when you kind of consider the changes in the game, with the transfer portal and NIL and stuff like that. What's it going to take for you guys, do you think?
Hey, that doesn't look like Southern California, by the way, in the background. Uh, you know, I I think we're trying to figure it out just like everybody else. I think we're trying to figure out what is our best path of success here. Obviously, rebuild. I thought we had key pieces here in which we could continue to be successful. I think that we felt like we needed more depth on the mound, and for us, that meant experienced guys, transfer portal guys, right? Like a Win Scott. Win Scott had a relationship with our pitching coach. North Carolina State, obviously a team that went to the College World Series. Hungry for an opportunity to compete. And that we felt like an experienced guy on the mound for what we lost. We felt like that was a good piece, right? Zach Chamizo, who's an older player who was at UC Riverside, who hit 300 in the Big West, right? Like that is a piece that we needed to compete right now. And I just think we're trying to be in a compete right now mode while we figure out how you build sustainably, to develop some guys, right? We have talented freshmen. Brady Pavlovsky, talented relief arm. Wade Mounts was committed to Arkansas, and a Bellarmine kid who, lost in the NIL and the transfer deal and opportunity to come here. Eshawn Kimball committed to, USC or whatever. And again, guys that with the changing world of college athletics or college baseball in particular, where maybe teams are trying to get older, we got to add some of those young guys that we can build around. But, it's no fun to go out there and get your head kicked in every week, right? That's no fun for your freshmen to learn what it takes to win. So we tried to add as many guys that were hungry for an opportunity in the portal or whatever it was so that we can compete right now, right? They came here because they want to compete, and they came here because we said, hey, we've won baseball games and we can go to a regional if you want to be that guy to add to it. So, I think it's a blend. I think it's a blend of obviously these guys that have been here to set the culture of what it is and how we do things. I think it's those guys from the portal, maybe some older guys, experienced guys that are looking for an opportunity to compete for a job right now, to win an environment, hopefully in a conference that we can compete in, and then building, getting those talented freshmen that are here that we can build around, and hopefully, they're the next guys sitting here that have passed that culture on. So, hey, hopefully I answered your answer, but I think right now it's a year-to-year proposition of, how do we compete right now? What's our best opportunity to compete while we develop those young guys? Because we won a Mountain West championship a couple of years ago with guys that were here for development guys. They were high school development guys that we were here, that we developed, and they were able to have that success. This makeup of this team, a little different. JC guys, some portal guys, and I think that we recruited based on their personalities of being similar guys to the guys we felt like we had, similar in the fact that they're grateful for an opportunity to compete, want to be at a place like this. Not too good for a place like this, not better than this place. Those are the guys in the recruiting process that we tried to find. So hopefully we're about the right things, and hopefully that, we're able to compete.
Thanks, Brad. Good luck this year, man.
I appreciate it. Good to see you.
All right. Thank you to Coach Sam Filippo and the Spartans, Jariah Lewis and Jesse Gutierrez. Good luck to the Spartans as they open the 2025 season with a 3-game series against Louisiana Lafayette.